Hi, Bob Leda here, and welcome to this episode of Stepping into the River. Today, we're going to be working with how your breath, your sound, and the sense of your support dance with each other and come together. We have a player who's going to be both singing and playing the trumpet, and he was concerned with how he might look different when doing one or the other. When it came to speak with him and work with him, we suggested that he bring breath, sound, and support all together, whatever that size may be. I encouraged that by using my hands, and then you could hear the profound result that he got when he played again. So I really hope you enjoy this one. So let's take a look. Take a listen, and we'll catch you on the other side. Okay.
AJ, we're on. We got your crew here. Extra eyes, extra ears. They're here to offer insight and illumination into how you go about playing. So we'll do, our usual stuff. Compare AJ's top half to bottom half. Left side to right side. For that, where does he go to finish a phrase? Where is his home? Front half to back half. What you catch about his breathing and where your attention goes when he plays. So that's the general stuff. Is there anything specific you'd like them to sort of check out while you're playing, or something you're working on right now?
Well, I'm curious. I'm going to be singing and playing trumpet, so I'm curious what differences are there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that'll be a great one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'll get out of the way. You do your explanation, and you can start the phone number.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So first, I'd like to introduce you to my instrument. It's a rather new trumpet to me, so it doesn't have a name yet, but it is a rather old trumpet. It's from 1954, and made in Los Angeles. And I made this little leather guard for it. It also, the lights are on right now, but I do have little red lights. Better in the dark, better in a dark bar. But anyway, I love this instrument, so it's a good friend of mine. I'm going to be singing and playing After You've Gone, which is a very old song from 1911, and it's one of the first songs recorded by the female voice, so that's just a fun fact. Okay. It has a 1-bar count off.
Oh, here, then I'll do it. You come
Yeah.
to the,
Yeah. Get the key
all
right.
right. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Now listen, honey, while I say, how can you tell me that you're going away? Oh, don't say that we must part. Don't go and break my aching heart. You know I loved you for many years, loved you night and day. Now how can you leave me? Can't you see my tears? So listen while I say, oh, after you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying you'll feel blue, yes, you'll feel sad. You will miss the dearest pal that you ever had. Oh, there'll come a time, now don't forget it, there'll come a time when you'll regret it someday. When you are lonely, your heart will break like mine, and you'll want me only after you've gone, after you've gone away.
that you can get to that total coordination of that which we're talking
Yeah.
about. And we're gonna get to this through questions, right? So when you, let's start with singing. When you sing, how far does your sound
In
in your mind?
For me, it depends on the space.
Well, no, we're here right now.
Right now,
We're
right
here
here in
right
this
now.
space.
How far does your sound?
I would say all the way to the back corner.
So to the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you know, you're breathing out when you're singing, how far does your breath go?
I would say to garden, approximately.
Yeah, so not as far,
Yeah.
but not as far.
No,
right?
not as far.
Right. And then, how far in this space do you feel like you're supported? How large is the world that you're standing on?
I would say like a 5 foot.
Yeah, right, yeah, so almost the, whatever you call it, the Vesuvian man, or, you know,
Yeah,
that thing,
Vitruvian,
right,
yeah.
yeah, Vitruvian, thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, and now when you're trumpet playing, same three questions. How far does your sound
I feel like my sound goes through the wall.
go? Okay, and how far?
I don't know which direction, but I'd say 10 feet. 10
Okay.
feet, yeah,
That's
sure.
fine. And then how far does your breath go?
Goes to the corner.
Goes to the corner. And how big a space, how far does your support come
I think it's similar. Similar.
from? The same 5 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little bigger.
Anybody know who Rostropovich was? Russian cellist.
Yeah.
He was asked this question. How far does my sound go? Well, for me, it goes to wherever my daughters are, even if they're on the other side of the wall. So what I'd like you to do is sort of, and I'm going to do a hands thing while you do this, is contemplate your sound, your breath, and the size of your support all being the same, however far that might be. And it could be limited by the room, it could be to the other side of the world, it could be the Jamaican plain, you know, it could be any of those, but really let that, that's beautiful, really let that soak into your, yeah, oh my goodness, into your consciousness. And then I'll go over and start things up again. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, are you gonna change the key? Or?
I would sing. Listen, honey, while I sing. How can you tell me that you're going away? Don't say that we must part. Don't break my aching heart. You know I've loved you true for many years. Loved you night and day. How can you leave me? Can't you see my tears? So listen while I say, oh, after you've gone and left me crying, after you've gone, there's no denying you'll feel blue, you'll feel sad, you'll miss the dearest pal that you ever had. Oh, there'll come a time, now don't forget it, there'll come a time when you'll regret it someday. When you are lonely, your heart will break like mine, and you'll want me only after you've gone, after you've gone away.
What did you see? What did you hear?
I just felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What else?
Like especially the singing, it was good the first time around as well, but it was so much more like clear and like the vibrato was like very subtle. You know?
Anybody else?
I'd say later I'd be curious to like hear what exactly you were like visualizing.
Yeah.
But for sure both the trumpet playing and the singing were more clear. Of course, the singing more because now you kind of like got adjusted to the keys. in it,
Yeah.
Right? So that's one.
definitely a factor.
But also even like the phrasing of the solo, just the sound of the trumpet, like it just seemed bigger to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And I heard more characteristic phrasing and more tone, and I was thinking of Louis. So, yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
It had that, the rhythm of Louis Armstrong, yeah.
Yeah.
Going off of what he said, like you're obviously a very comfortable performer, and you have a good self-confidence. Like you know what your abilities are, and you don't stretch them to like an extractable limit. But definitely with that performance, it was like you were reaching for things when you were soloing that you didn't reach for the previous time. Obviously, like in part because like it's in a different key that you said you never played it in before, but like still though it's really impressive that like it's only the second time you're playing it in this key and you're already reaching for those things. But also the thing that stuck out to me the most was just the first phrase of your solo. Just
Oh, yeah.
just like I was like, wow.
I'll have to
Holy
listen.
shit.
Oh, watch this back. Oh, my
Yeah,
gosh.
but
Yeah, I did.
I go 100%.
that first phrase, I think it's the same thing as who played last week. I forgot.
Jake.
When Jacob played, like
Yeah.
the first notes of the piece that he played after, it was the same thing. Like he really hooked everyone in.
Right.
Like you said, like yeah, I just felt it. It was
Yeah,
felt really good.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody else? How about you? Was that a different experience for you?
Yes, it was.
Any words?
Well, I know what I was thinking of. And I was thinking of a few things. One is I was thinking of the color orange and just this ball of energy.
Uh-huh.
And that was kind of what I was envisioning as the world that I was standing on and having. And it didn't really have any limits, any specific ones. And I was thinking of Lewis, and I was also, he's one of my greatest heroes, and both as a trumpet player and performer, but as a person and everything. Then I was also thinking of my partner right now, who's sick and who I haven't seen in a few weeks. They had COVID, but I was gonna see them tomorrow, but they still haven't tested
Oh,
negative. So I was just thinking of them, and they're over in Somerville, so I was thinking of playing all the way over to Somerville. Yeah. And it was
I
a
can tell you,
combination
it
of all
happened.
that. Yeah.
It happened. The big thing for me, what you were talking about being in this 5-foot circle before, I saw that and I didn't talk about it. Because what I saw was, to me, a puzzling lack of confidence. It's like, what are you worried about? But we shrink when that happens.
Yeah.
And when you located yourself in a larger space and let the sound fill that space and let your breath fill that space, that's what happens. So, as they say in Ireland, good on you.
Thank you.
Give him a big hand.
Hi, welcome back. Two things really struck me about this performance. One is one that I expected, and one not so much. The one I expected is when you can be more supported by the world in that larger space, breathe in that space, have your sound be in that space, everything starts to mingle and coalesce and thrive and be alive and vital. The one that surprised me is that I know what I say, but I never know what somebody hears and what they do with what I say. So those of you that are teachers, just let your words go and see where the students take them. This was a wonderful change. I really liked when they talked about the first phrase coming out and likened it to the previous week. And I believe all the vignettes you see at these series are ways to get at that for performers. So, thanks for being here. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.